So let's just start with, what is Kundalini yoga?
So, so for me, my experience with Kundalini yoga Kundalini yoga has one thing that really stood out to me when I first started to go into this practice was one of my teachers, McCall Vega, out in Los Angeles, just always described it as martial art for the mind, and it can bring your mind to a place of stillness that you can move beyond the blockages of the subconscious mind. You can move beyond sort of the everyday mundane realm that you're in. And so that's kind of the technology of what Kundalini yoga can do. What it is though, it's energy. It's use of sound, which is another form of energy. It's breath, which is energy. It's body movement, which is energy. And it's experiencing all these things in stillness. And through this, the chakras can be balanced out. There's in the Kundalini yoga system, we said that there's 10 bodies. I go into those in a little bit, but it balances the entire system out, the human vehicle that we're in. So the body is balanced, the mind becomes balanced, and then the soul, the mind, body, soul, the soul can really start to not only speak but receive. And that's when the intuition starts to build up. The love frequency starts to build up. Ultimately, you start moving away from fear again and moving into love. And it's a path. It really is. It really is. It's a spiritual path. Um, and I say that because it can be. There's a lot of talk of God. We reference God directly. Generator, organizer, destroyer, creator. Ek Onkar, the one creator, the creator of all creation. Ek Onkar, which is Gurmukhi. Those are the first three sounds of Japji, which Guru Nanak brought to us in the late 1400s. And Guru Nanak was one of the first Sikh gurus. So a lot of these teachings and a lot of these mantras and sounds that we use come from the language of Gurmukhi. They come from the some of the teachings from Guru Nanak and there was 10 Sikh gurus, the other 9 Sikh gurus. There's a lot of mantras that we use that come from them. But while Sikh is considered a religion, this is a spirit. It's a spiritual technology. It's a spiritual path to get you to that place so you can experience the oneness. You can experience God. You can experience the God that's inside you. And I was saying this the other day, actually, in a class. Like, while it, it's not necessarily a replacement for religion. It's not a religion. It can enhance anything. We say that, don't, when people start practicing or things start to change, the the suggestion isn't, well, stop doing that and do this. The suggestion is to keep doing some of this and then just see what happens, see what evolves, see what expands, see what falls off. Um, for me, I grew up Catholic. I went to Catholic school. I was an altar boy, um, but just never, read the Bible a couple times because I had to, but just never, believed there was something out there. But there was a little bit of confusion. Like, am I believing this because am I experiencing it, or am I believing it because I'm told I'm supposed to believe it? Am I believing it because I'm told that 2 + 2 = 4, and that's been ingrained in my mind? And I don't, I just haven't, I can't really ever experience 2 + 2 = 4. And the same with the way that I was receiving religion. I just never had that experience of really true experience of God. Now there are, there's other reasons why too. It's not just because that didn't work. There was, there's history of some substance abuse and alcohol, things like that, and which, alcohol can pull you away from God. Anyways, that is why they call it spirits, and there's some religions that forbid it for obvious reasons. And so it wasn't until I found this practice that I started to experiencing these things, that there was a new connection, and I could feel it here. And that just continued to grow and expand and expand and slow. There'd be some giant leaps here and there, but it kept going like this. And it does keep going like this as long as I stay connected to my daily practice, stay connected to my teachers, and really just stay connected to God. Make a daily commitment to this practice of Kundalini yoga, so we call it sadhana. I know I'm bouncing all over the place right now, but in sadhana, waking up in the morning, between the hours of, say, 3 and 6 a.m. or 4 and 6 a.m., sometimes a little earlier, sometimes wake up a little bit later. But that Amrit Vela hour, there's a special angle of the sun that really empowers the space that you can go into in meditation. And if you think about, if you go to the ocean, say at sunrise, right? Unless there's a storm coming in, what's the ocean? It's calm, right? It's calm. Everything is calm. Everything is calm. There's the sun is starting to come up. Things are starting to wake up, but there's this calmness. And in sadhana in the morning, and with the practice, you can tap into that energy. And we could talk a little bit about this. These you've experienced this, right? These practices aren't necessarily fun. They're not necessarily comfortable. Holding your arms just to start like this, even just for 3 minutes, that's uncomfortable. But if you're going to do this practice, right, you knowing that you can maximize the effect during those hours, you get up, you do it, and then you feel good, and then you go throughout your day. And then maybe one day you don't do it, and it's around like 11 a.m., and you're at work, and everything's all of a sudden working against you. You don't like this person. This person's doing this person, all this stuff. And then you realize, wait a minute. The only thing that's different between today and yesterday is I didn't do my practice, right? It's the medicine. It becomes the medicine. So you just get back on. You just get back on the path. You just keep getting back on. And with these periods of withdrawal of a practice, and this could be any practice. For me, it's been Kundalini yoga. This lineage has brought me to places that I could never even imagine that were humanly possible, and they continued to open up new doors. But when you have these little moments of reprieve, withdrawal, whatever you want to call them, when you go back in, you go back in stronger, right? It's like when you're working out at the gym, and you got things are going, and things are going right, and you're losing weight, and you're toning up, and you're getting stronger, you're getting stronger, you're getting stronger. You go on vacation, and it takes 3 weeks to get back to the gym, right? But you have that memory, like, all right, I got to get back into this. I got to get harder into this, and you just work harder at it, and you can get to a different level that you were at the last time, and that again is that this trajectory, and it's ultimately it's this trajectory. It's a trajectory towards your destiny. And we all have a destiny path that we can travel on. There's also a fate path. That's the one that goes like this. And especially in these times right now, as we are in this Aquarian age, it's very well predicted and laid out, not just in the teachings of Yogi Bhajan's lectures, or if you look at astrology, and you look at you go to the Book of Revelations. If you want to go into you go into the Bible, right? You can look at all these different things that we're calling there's a certain period of time that was coming, and we could be in it right now. And there's a lot of just pulling down into this fate. And you can look at the the drugs that are available out there, legal and illegal, and all the other everything in between. The television, television programming, the news, the pornography that's out there, like the food, the sugar, the frequencies, the all the things out there are ultimately just the shopping, the instant gratification, the it's all just pulling you down like this. Because when we're down here in this fate trajectory, we're under control. And when we're under control, we're profitable. We're on a path of destiny. We don't need anything. We have everything. We have everything. We have everything we need, and the want doesn't exist. There's a desire just to keep going. There's a discipline to keep going. There's a commitment to keep going in this path. And all you want to do is just keep going because you continue to everything becomes provided to you, and it's all in the perception, right? It's all in the perception of the reality that you're living in. Because you're in a you're in a higher vibration, a higher frequency. The positive mind is balanced. The negative mind is balanced. And you're running in this, you're moving and you're navigating the space of the neutral mind. Those are the bodies 2, 3, and 4 of the 10 body system. You're navigating life in this neutral mind, this meditative mind, where you you're in control of what you respond to versus being in control. Let me rephrase that. Versus your reactions being in control of you. Does that make sense? So you're able to pick and choose what you want to do, what you want to think about, what you want to connect with, what you want to carry with you into tomorrow, into next week, into next month, into next year, versus being a victim of circumstances, right? I don't know how to do this. I can't do this. I'll never get there. All these things. Or you're in this positive high vibrational mindset, really of just consciousness of I'm the king of my castle. I'm the king of my sovereignty. And you're navigating in that in your own kingdom with grace.